So I'm here at Mrs. Sunwall 1812, and I'm talking to Mark Thomas of MT Forge. He's one of our suppliers who supplies so much of our forged blacksmith goods. And I thought we'd have a quick talk with him so you get to know him a little bit better. So, Mark, how long have you been doing blacksmithing?
I've been doing shows like this about 17 years.
17 years. Were you doing blacksmithing before that?
A little bit. I learned more from actually going to the shows where I could make what people wanted. So
Okay.
it's a learning experience.
How did you learn to do blacksmithing?
I'd go to reenactments and rendezvous and ended up watching the blacksmiths and said, I'd like to try that. And joined Indiana Blacksmith Association. There's usually an association in each state. And you go there and ask silly questions. What do I do? How do I do this? And they answer questions. And then you start doing it. And after a while, you don't burn yourself as much, and you start working.
And you keep accumulating tools and techniques.
Yeah, it's tools and techniques. You learn. Somebody wants you to make something different. You have to learn a new way of doing it. And
Right.
you say, how did the old blacksmiths used to do it? What tools they have? What can I use they have?
Right.
And you just learn how to use what they did. The easiest thing is an S-hook, and that's what I train new blacksmiths to do. I can teach them in 15 minutes, but then they have to make 500 S-hooks. Then they'll know how to make S-hooks. The hardest thing is usually something new, a little complicated because you got to learn how to put it together and stuff like that.
So do you make everything we see here? Or is this?
Most of the stuff we make, it's into my shop, but anymore I don't make it all because I have a daughter working full time. And she'll make about 80% of what I make.
Wow.
She's going to support me in my old age because she's
Yeah,
doing
there
very
you go.
good. Yeah,
And you're training up younger ones too?
Yeah, I just had my grandson here. He's making some S hooks, and he's getting very consistent. I'm looking more for consistency and how well he works than I am,
right.
a certain style to it. He'll
Right,
develop
right.
that as he goes.
You probably work straight from brand new stock all the time. You
Yes,
get in
right.
raw metal, but most of the blacksmiths probably in the time period were working with scrap metals.
A blacksmith back then would do a lot more hammering because he wouldn't get the dimensional stock I get.
Right.
He may get a bar and then he has to shape it down to what he wants. Or he may get two pieces of scrap metal, have to weld it together to come up with a mass that he can then put into it. I'm fortunate because I can start with closer to the dimensions I need to start with.
Right.
And then after that, it's just altogether easier.
Are you familiar with the difference between the period wrought iron and the kind of quality of steel they would have worked with in the time period versus what we work with today?
Yes, the wrought iron was actually a worked iron. It was almost a dirtier iron, but it had silica in it, so it didn't rust as easy.
Ah.
But it's almost like a wood where it would, you could break it. If you worked it too cold, you could actually crack it. And you would, today it's more of a homogeneous.
Right.
So I can work it a little bit colder. Kind of material I work with gears toward how I work it.
Right.
If you punched it too cold back then, you could rip it. Now it's more forgiving. But it's got more carbon, so it's a little harder to work. It's not as easy to forge weld. You have to learn a new technique. But you got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out this morning to talk to me, and hopefully you guys have had, got some little interesting information about blacksmithing. There's probably so much to learn. You probably are, learning new stuff every day.
Every day, and I won't learn it all.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.